So what I'm going to do is now I have to figure out the distance from Polaris to different stars, and that's what I'm going to use to fill out this column over here, distance from Polaris. Now, here's how I would do it. Is first of all, I would choose my, um, basically, you're using an equation that looks kind of crazy. It looks like this. D equals the square root of x2 minus x1, that's 2, squared plus y2 minus y1 squared plus z2 minus z1 squared. Take the square root of that thing, and then you're in business. The thing is, this represents two different points. This represents the points x1, y1, and z1. Also represents, you also need the information from the point x2, y2, and z2. The thing is, we're just figuring out the distance that it goes from this point to that point. Now, this point might not be, right in line with each other. It might be this point to a little bit up, and it might not even be in the same, like, z direction, so it can actually come out of this page. But all you do is just plug in the information. So, first thing I want to do is figure out where Polaris is. Polaris. What is your x1, y1, and z1? And just write down those numbers. Let's see. 99.6, 28.2, and 376.0. Cool. And then I'm going to figure out what Wolf 359 is. Wolf 359. Now I'm going to choose Wolf 359 to be 0.2 because I don't want to choose the same x1, y1, z1 because I'd get confused between the 2 points. So this is x2, y2, and z2. And your points are 4.0, oh, oops, 4.0, 4.3, and 5.1. All right, now it's really just a matter of plugging it in and chugging it out. The plugging it in and chugging out might be a little confusing, and I'm going to draw some lines to show you where these things go. And it gets a little big, but it's not really that hard of a problem. And it might look a little messy, but it's not really that bad either. So let's see. In orange, or in red, I'm gonna say that this guy goes right here, and the Y2, this guy right here, he goes right there, and the Z2, he goes right over there. Cool. Now let's do this in purple. The X1, I get that from right over here, so this guy goes right inside of there. This Y1, I get that from here, so he goes right over here. And the Z1, I get it from here, so he goes right over there. Now that looks incredibly messy, but I'm just showing you where I plug these numbers into correctly. So let's get rid of those ugly things, and let me plug it in. Let's see. D equals the square root of x2, which is 4.0, minus 99.6 squared plus, I'm going to run out of room here, 4.3 minus 28.2 squared plus 376.0. Oh, I'm sorry. 5.1 minus 376. I know that's a little ugly. I apologize. Squared. I take the square root of that big sucker right there. Now all I do is all I did was I wrote this equation down, but instead of writing x2, I wrote down what the number was. Instead of writing y2, I wrote down what the number was, z2, all of that, so on and so forth. Now, for the next part of this, I'm going to actually just calculate each of these things out. I'll make sure that you do it correctly and slowly.